right, welcome everyone. This is the AEF Podcast. I'm here as your co-host along with my co-host Frankie D. I am myself, Rob Star. Welcome to the AEF Podcast. We're so excited for this very first episode, just to announce the whole company itself, the production, future productions we're working on, and the actors we'll be working with, and a lot more is to come. I'm excited.
Well, I'm definitely excited.
Actually, I should say I'm a little bit more ecstatic more than anything else. This has been something that we've been really focusing on for a good almost year now, just with the expansion of one of our main productions we're working on currently right now is the Enchanted Mafia. I'm excited for it because we have a whole season about to debut shortly this year, in our calendar year of 2019. Basically in August 10th, so we're excited. It's a huge launch party for the web series itself. We're going to be having the cast and crew along with friends and family coming to watch the premiere for it downtown Toronto, Yonge and Dundas. I'm looking forward to it. What about you?
I will say I'm nervous that day because I have a hand in almost everything, every angle of that production. So it's more I'm excited, don't get me wrong, but I'm nervous because it's like I hope people laugh and enjoy it.
Well, you're the Swiss Army knife man of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Actor, producer, director, editor.
Writer. Yeah.
Composer, we'll even put it that way.
Yeah. Costume designer, casting director, a whole bunch of hats I wore. So it's more so I just hope everybody enjoys it.
Don't forget cinematographer,
yeah.
Cameraman himself at certain points. So yeah, that goes a long way. It goes a long way, and it's an exciting journey. But I understand you're probably nervous, but I don't think there's nothing to be nervous about.
Yeah. It's always it's you always want to put your best foot forward, and when you do, you don't you want to make sure it's a good foot, right?
Oh, of course.
Yeah,
of course. I think even for myself, just when I first kind of got the call to kind of do some of the work with you, I thought it felt very natural, felt professional. There wasn't a lot of stress put on the actors and the production itself. It was a smooth transition for some people who are maybe not used to that kind of experience of going to meet for a shoot time or something like that. I think it goes a long way of how smooth, and that's what we're trying to emphasize too with now starting Almost Elite Films, this production companies. We're going to be doing a lot of different things, of shows and TV and film and definitely radio. We'll be doing podcasts every so often. Not just only, we'll mainly focus a lot on top of the productions we do, but I guess also probably, things that are happening, in
the world.
In the world specifically. We'll be talking, gaming, we'll be talking film, cinema, TV, and those aspects across the entire board. We're looking to hear from people's opinions on, what we would like to be covered. If there's some topics, we'll be bringing on all kinds of guests. I know Frankie D himself will probably want to be, having some subjects that he would like to talk about, as myself included. If, we're not both doing a show, he'll do a show, I'll do a show. So that's a really exciting time to kind of, it's an expansion time. Sky's the limit kind of when it comes to the show and the production company itself. And Enchanted Mafia is really, really coming along. We finally done the principal photography, all edited too. We just got the premiere, just getting everyone set to come watch. And then on top of that, expanding on, the whole universe of Enchanted Mafia, right?
Yeah. There's already ideas of what's to come in the future. Couple of characters that you might see pop up in season 2.
Cool.
I'm definitely excited for the new characters that come in because it's because there's so many jokes you can do with them. I might as well say them, shouldn't I? So there's going to be a character called Independence Day, which is just this big American guy.
Sick.
He's going to be in an American suit. Then we're going to have a Sasquatch, or a Yeti, or a Bigfoot, whatever. I haven't decided the name yet, if he's going to be a Sasquatch or a Bigfoot, but there's the character there. And then because we brought in some diseases in the first season, you're going to see more diseases in the second season.
Wow.
Well, not that many more, but
fun,
certain diseases.
But that'll be fun. At least you'll see certain characters be able to really come alive. I think the depth of the universe is kind of self-explanatory. There's a lot of different characters we've already touched on, but there's so many more that have to come. That I think variety is really special, and there's going to be a lot of separate stories. For those of you who haven't seen already, there is the first episode, or the pilot episode, to the Enchanted Mafia itself. If you can, go check it out at the Almost Elite Films channel on YouTube. We got it there, and don't hesitate to check us out on Instagram too. Almost Elite Films on Instagram
and Facebook.
Definitely Facebook. Facebook's also blowing up too. The group is it's a nice tight community got going so far right now, with a lot of good friends and support from cast and crew. So don't hesitate there to also go check us out too. We love the support. We love to hear people's thoughts and opinions. It goes a long way. It really does help. Just to hear and people sharing their stories of what they want to see with our productions.
Yeah. Word of mouth is definitely the strongest.
Definitely, it's the biggest one we're got going for ourselves. I mean, but that's just one cookie so far of many type of different things we're baking in this damn oven of this production company that we're going on. We also have another production in the works right now, just mainly brainstorming and kind of on the cutting board of talking about a sequel to a film that was done last year in 2018 called The Mystery Solved.
Yeah.
Written and directed again by our very own Frankie D, the master of so many ideas. He is our Swiss Army knife, will always probably be, until hopefully when things get expanded, he can take out a few blades and lend them to somebody else, so that way he doesn't have to feel all the stress and pressure of having to host all these different things.
Although this is going to sound a little egotistical, but instead of Swiss Army knife, what about the Holy Grail?
The Holy Grail. All right, fair enough. The Holy Grail, that works. I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty small. That's a pretty big jump, man.
That is. Go big or go home, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't have had it any other way.
But Mystery Solved, what's interesting about Mystery Solved, because just like Mafia, it started off as just an idea, right? And to me, the biggest thing for Mafia at the time when we first made it was, as long as it gets 100 views, I'm happy. But that one got over 500 views.
Wow.
It won Best Award in the 2018 Alternative Film Festival, summer edition of the Alternative Film Festival, and that's how it kind of kick-started the web series. When Mystery Solved, that's another kind of, I don't want to say a sleeper hit, but it's like almost a cult hit where people really enjoyed it, and they're like, oh, I wish there was more of it. So that's why part 2 is in the works now. Yeah,
I was very fortunate enough to be also part of that production too for Mystery Solved, and kind of just got to have another second chance to work with Frankie D himself, of just seeing how Enchanted Mafia just wasn't a fluke. He was able to pull out another great original story from scratch, and it was nice to kind of see a different type of world. Compared to what the Enchanted Mafia is. It was more of criminal noir kind of style, but it's very got some slapstick in it, so it's kind of even a little bit more there's a lot more tomfoolery, if you want to put it that way. It's a nice transition
to me. Well, what was interesting was my homage to the Three Stooges,
right?
So it's like, okay, it's film noir, but I want to add in some Three Stooges slapstick to it. And I remember it was like, okay, do we film this in black and white? And I'm like, yeah, I definitely film this in black and white, because that's what adds to it.
Yeah, no, it was. I think that was a great effect. I think it went a long way. Just kind of, I don't know. Well, I mean, for the story, I thought it really went well, especially with the twist at the final end there. I think it was really, really, really funny. So you played off a kind of that sense, and that's that slapstick, those detective comedies that sometimes they have those narrations. So that was a funny situation that we kind of just had, no pun intended, but literally a flip of the switch worked out for everything. So Mystery Solved 2 is definitely right now just in its early days of just figuring out where the story goes with the characters we currently have for that. So that's another exciting adventure we have going. And I mean, the podcast itself is going to be, like I said earlier, very much a versatile talking ground. Frank will have Frankie D himself will probably have a bunch of different guests come on to his show, as long as he's comfortable with them, as am I. We'll both co-host, doing them together. If we are not always together, at least one of us will be doing it, for something that we want to talk about, that maybe we're interested in. We're kind of brainstorming earlier, mainly even talking about if we wanted to do certain themes for certain weeks, if people wanted to talk about certain movie genres or TV genres, or even, I don't know, some subjects that are more close to them. I actually had a good friend of mine. I met her while I was doing some theater and doing some musicals. But she, I saw her Instagram the other day, and she was kind of having, I guess sometimes she likes to kind of come out on her Instagram story, kind of open up to her people she communicates with and those who she's connected to about her anxieties. She was having an anxiety attack. She had to leave. I guess she was out for a nice, lovely evening for a nice dinner party or something. But she ended up coming home really early, and she immediately went to her Instagram story and said, "Hey guys, this just goes to show you that sometimes people, they suffer from random panic attacks, anxiety attacks, and this is just one of her." She was trying to show that she had to come home, really just kind of calm herself from the general public. And I reached out to her and said, "Hey, I would love for you to come onto the show sometime, talk about just getting that message of awareness, sometimes getting that stigma out there of talking about these type of situations that people may not know too much about. Some people may not suffer from anxiety attacks. They may not suffer from some type of depression, depending on what they experience. It goes from all different factors of mental health. It's important to talk about." So she was definitely open to talking about that, and that's where it goes. The podcast is going to expand to so many different ways to reach out to so many people that we hope we can share stories with you and really progress and build on that. And then this is just one of many different places we're going to. I listen to shows that talk about movies. I listen to shows that talk about professional wrestling, which Frankie D and myself are very big fans of professional wrestling, so don't worry, there'll definitely be a lot of those on there.
There's also another project, but continue.
Actually, don't keep that, because I'm going to be talking about it a little later.
Yeah,
we're excited for that one too. That one's a really, really fun one. But this podcast is definitely a place where people can feel comfortable to talk to. And like I said, I listen to all kinds of different varieties. If I'm working out, if I want to sleep, or I'm trying to relax and listen to some people talk, it's really nice. Sometimes word of mouth goes a long way, like you just said. So that's where we're going. But with going back to wrestling, we're excited also too. There is another production we're kind of in the works too. We've gotten a figure. There's a little bit of a script. There's some wardrobe we've kind of gone. There's been some kind of cold runs of what we're experimenting with and expanding onto in the wrestling business.
And I think this one is going to be majority improv too by all the performers,
which is that'll be fun.
That'll be fun because we don't know what's gonna come.
Well, like it should be like an original wrestling promo. If a guy can figure out what to rebuttal to his opponent, then it definitely is fun to try to put actors on the spot for that. I would love to see that. I'm going to even try to test myself. I can't really say I'm the greatest at improvising. Unless there's like a no filter, then maybe I can probably drop a few curse words.
Well, there'll probably be a little filter because we don't want to be like indie wrestling. Well, not indie, sorry, like backyard wrestling.
No, we can't do that.
But definitely, like, I'll be there. Obviously, I'll be there filming it. So if like something hits, I'm gonna redirect.
Yeah.
Or if something doesn't hit, I'm going to say, okay, let's try something different, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or say this with this kind of tone. That way, even though it is improv on the spot, but we're polishing it at the same time.
Yeah, no, of course.
Right?
It'll be fun. It'll be fun because they won't be as... The videos themselves won't be as long, right? They're going to be little segments.
They're going to be like 2 or 3 minutes tops each video.
There'll be those little episodic kind of really small things.
Yeah.
So, you kind of go, I don't want to say you do guerrilla filmmaking, but you kind of run and gun type of style of shooting it, getting it done, editing it, and then pumping it out there. And if it's all connected, that's what we're kind of planning on doing with that.
The thing that I was playing around with, I haven't told you this before, but I'm not too sure because at the beginning there's going to be a tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Right? And you're going to pit guys against other guys. The idea I had was for, so say like, one wrestler's going up against another. Instead of us writing it in who's gonna win, I thought about opening it up to the audience and they pick who they like, and then that person will go forward in the tournament.
Cool,
right? But I'm not too sure yet. That's still in the baby steps.
That's not a bad interaction with people, and it's kind of. They pick and choose, and then if that person's done a great job, that's like booing some live theater in the sense of like you're forcing like if it's like an improv team, right? Like now they make it up to the next stage depending on like if they've been just cheered the loudest, right? As opposed to it's a vote, necessarily, or the way it might be scripted in a certain story. So yeah, that's a fun way if we put polls out there to kind of see what people like the most.
Who wants to? My only concern is obviously there's going to be bad guys, right? I definitely want to be one of the bad guys.
Cool.
But like my concern is like, oh, I hate this guy. Why the fuck should he win? Oh, should we say fuck?
I don't know. Sheet fuck.
Sheet fuck. Sheet fuck motherfucking shit.
That's the way we're allowed several swear words, and I think we just fixed them all.
We just fixed them all. But yeah, I don't want to be like, oh, it's a bad guy. Why are we gonna let the bad guy win? Right? Let's let the good guy win. That's my only concern. But hopefully it goes smoothly, where that's not much of a concern.
Yeah, no, that would be fun. I mean, bad guys in wrestling, they're fun, but I mean, they become so popular that they almost turn into good guys.
Yeah,
so if it's a really good, like, bad guy, like kind of like an inspiration for Bobby Bricks, which was a character I kind of came up with, which was MJF, right now, who's kind of killing it right now, and a huge superstar coming out of AEW in the professional wrestling world. So. Yeah, there's a strong ego filled with mine, but I think the character of Bobby Bricks is more self-absorbed, but I don't know, he's just kind of all over the place. He's like full of himself, but he's kind of an idiot at the same time. Whereas I think MJF was a little bit more cocky and also a little bit more conniving. I think Bobby Bricks was just more like cared more about looking at himself in the mirror than anything else.
What's hilarious is when we did the test runs, I envisioned my character, Frankie D, to be the bad heel, right? And then Steve, who was also there, he's like, oh no, you're like the Tony Stark. And I'm like, wait, what? How did I become a good guy? But,
Maybe you're a heel Tony Stark. Maybe you're like Tony Stark in Earth, 2020.
Maybe.
Who is just an evil guy who uses all his weapons tech. But yeah, that's another future project we're really excited for because it's just kind of fun. It's goofy. It's we're not so tight-knit trying to make it logical in certain aspects. The same way I think that we were also excited to kind of work on Mystery Solved because sometimes the physics doesn't really have to match up as much for those kind of shows and those kind of things we're doing. Mafia, I think, was the same way at certain points.
Yeah.
I think it's just certain stories we're also trying to make sure that, there is some connection to, we're doing stuff, future productions that are, really engulfing the characters. They're really trying to make people understand the characters a little bit more because certain characters may have not gotten enough time to be seen just based on, how the story played out for the main web series we're doing right now for season 1. Mm-hmm. So that's why we're, doing some other production for individuals, I should say. I guess for the future is why we're kind of maybe, I guess in my sense, splitting hairs a little bit on making sure what is us making a character look strong and what's making them look compelling. Characters that people want to believe in that make connections to, those go a long way.
And we can get away with breaking kind of the reality of stuff. Because these characters do have powers. Mm-hmm. Like Cupid has powers. Mm-hmm. Easter Bunny has powers. There's Santa Claus, right? Mother Nature. They all have powers where it's like, okay, how do we bring these powers into the real world? Yeah. And we kind of mesh that together, right?
Yeah, no, that I think with what's happened so far in the story arc, and then just what we're looking at for future, shoots and future, storytelling, putting them all together to kind of make sense in one big kind of, I guess, I don't know, you want to say bowl or something. It really you can find that in a certain sense that when we have like guys like Santa Claus, we everyone knows Santa Claus. They'll know some type of power he possesses or some of the mannerisms that he does.
Yeah, same with Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, Tooth Fairy too. At least their actions, Tooth Fairy people are familiar with. Sometimes people necessarily aren't too familiar with the Easter Bunny or aren't too. Everyone will say, yeah, Cupid, fires an arrow and makes people fall in love. But we are really trying to expand on characters like the Leprechauns, like the Father Times, and even Tooth Fairies and the Cupids and the Easter Bunnies to really see, who they are as individuals apart just from their supernatural backgrounds.
And I'm glad you're bringing up, like, some people don't know too much about the other ones. One of the biggest ones that nobody knows about, but when I looked it up, actually exists, is Stingy Jack.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you look at the characters, they're kind of related to a holiday. Not all of them, but some of them are. And it's like, okay, how do we bring in the holiday the Halloween character? Mm-hmm. And it's just like, well, Halloween doesn't have much of a character, like it's as prominent as like the Easter Bunny or Cupid for Valentine's Day or Santa for Christmas.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, what does Halloween have? And then I found Stingy Jack, which is an actual, I wouldn't say a mascot for Halloween, but it's a character that's related to Halloween.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
people just look at him just if you've seen him, like he's a giant jack-o'-lantern
On his head.
on a head.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's only one time I guess jack-o'-lanterns are more or less appropriate for a time of year. So
Yeah.
I think for any connection you can put, anytime I see Halloween, they always play off with jack-o'-lanterns. So I thought if out of any character you're going to get, I think Stingy Jack works for that type of season, that type of time of the year.
Yeah.
I mean, if we don't know, we're going forward in terms of expanding on even other type of premature holidays, like the Thanksgivings. We got a giant turkey just running around causing.
Hey, there's gonna be a Sasquatch or Bigfoot, Sasquatch versus giant turkey fight.
Yeah, a giant turkey fight fighting a huge Sasquatch. That'd be funny.
Be hilarious.
That'd be funny. But that's where I think, going back to what I said earlier about the depth and the expansion of this universe, it can be endless. There are a lot of characters. I mean, even if we decide to talk about making characters out of even just lesser holidays.
Yeah. Well, there's that character your friend mentioned that I keep forgetting the name of.
Oh yes. Kind of the counter to, I don't want to say counter to Santa Claus, but oh man, he's gonna be really mad. I am forgetting the actual character's name, but it's similar to Santa Claus, but instead of giving kids coal when they're bad, he spanks them, I think was what he was saying to me.
I think so.
Oh, it's gonna bug me now because I was just talking with him the other week about it too. But that's a character definitely we're excited for, just because it's really the opposite. It's not the full opposite to Santa Claus. It's still a Santa Claus type of character in a different area of, I think, Eastern Europe or something.
It's like the Befana, but for that.
Yeah. I guess when you put it that way, it's a funny character that instead of a lump of coal, which seems a little bit, even though it's kind of harsh, because what the hell is a child supposed to do with a lump of coal? Not everyone's working in coal mines like they used to.
Right.
I think that the character, it makes it funny because he spanks people when they're naughty. So just having some guy in a beard, or however you want to make him look. For those who are probably more familiar even with shows like The Office, there is an episode where the character Dwight comes in, and he's dressed as the counterpart to Santa Claus too, but it's I think his name is Belschnickel or something like that, and he's got this weird gnarly beard, but it's like all brown and dark and gray, and he's covered like in just soot the whole time.
Right.
He's got like this whack-a-stick, and he just is, I don't know, he's a really creepy version. It was funny though, for the episode it's really funny, and I guess the character of what my friend Tommy was talking about, Tommy Amoroso, it's a similar character, but I think this character more or less just spanks children, doesn't beat them up or do anything too vicious. I think it's just the spankings for naughty children.
Right.
Yeah, that's a fun character. I think we'll definitely see where that fits, and hopefully he makes an appearance in season 2. I would like to think he would.
Yeah.
I think just because it's something that when we're looking at the stories going forward, that definitely helps. Yeah, a character like that goes a long way. But yeah, I mean. If going for what we have now in terms of we're really excited to launch Almost Elite Films and AEF itself as a production company that does many different layers, and like I said also earlier of the fact that we have now this huge unveiling of the 4 web series episodes of season 1 of Enchanted Mafia Dark City, and the debut and premiere all coming out on August 10th. I think people are going to really see, how much you especially have opened up on the world from the first pilot film that was filmed over a year ago. Yeah. With the characters that were just originally in that, because we have some amazing actors working so hard on their characters. Putting a lot of work into this in the production, and some things fell great into place doing this. I mean, you can agree to that. For how well timing was. Just for certain, we had to do a couple reshoots too, just to kind of fix some editing issues. We found some lighting troubles, or just some areas where we were filming outdoors that just didn't really come out nice.
And some scenes we couldn't do because of the weather.
Yeah.
So we had to wait a little bit.
Weather was not always the kindest sometimes on our side, depending.
I will say I'm proud of the fact, with the resources that not only I have, but like what other people have brought.
Yeah.
What the final product is, I'm proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have like big movie budgets.
No.
Like I don't have $50 million to go film something, right? If I had that and what came out.
Well, what do I always say? If I had that, we just CGI the whole movie.
Yeah, just CGI the whole movie. But from what came out from all the resources that I managed to get my hands on, I'm proud of that.
Cool.
Yeah, because it's like, where was I? I was helping. Do I want to drop her name? Yeah, fine. I was helping Sophie and Olivia move, and they also
Sophie and Olivia. Who are these Sophie and Olivia?
Oh, so
explain who these people are to our guests.
Olivia's really nice. I like her, and then Sophie. She's like, oh, if she listens to this. No, so they're both cool people. I met Sophie doing a play. Actually, I met both of them doing plays, but I was helping them move houses. And they also invited a couple of other guys where I've worked with before on films and music videos. And I remember I was talking to one of them, and I showed the gnome teaser, where the gnomes just stand up.
Oh, cool.
In that teaser part, right? And I made mention, like, yeah, I don't have the best of equipment or the best resources to make this. And the guy looked at me. He looked at me and he goes, "Hey, you have a web series." And I went, "Yeah, I do." Oh, yeah. So ever since then, I've been looking at it like, you know what? I managed to make the old saying is something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Right?
Definitely.
To use that old saying, but I'm proud. I'm still nervous for August 10th, but I'm proud of what came out.
Well, I can say I've also seen the finished product, and I am excited for it. I was happy to work with you on this, just because I saw your vision. I thought it was something fun to work on and expand on. And I think like there's a lot that can come from this.
Yeah.
Very good stuff that can come from this. So that's why I was intrigued to really, really kind of work with you and expand on this production, this story. Yeah, I'm really excited for the final. The only part that pisses me off probably is the fact that it's August 10th and it's not tomorrow.
It's not tomorrow.
That's what I'm more excited for. I'm really excited to kind of do this. The premiere is going to be fun. We're doing it at downtown Toronto near Yonge and Dundas, so we'll have a lot of friends, family, cast, crew coming down to see that. So it's just nice to kind of see work that we've been doing for almost nearly a year now, because I guess the table read would have been last year at the end of August, right? Roughly, And we had planned to kind of start doing principal photography
in September, October
was the main hits for it of last fall. That's why. So it's really kind of nice, relaxing kind of. Okay, we're here and we can celebrate, the work we've done. And there's work coming again, more work coming in the future. But at least for this one, we can be saying, hey, we did it.
We did it, yeah.
You did it. And, it looks great. I'm excited for a lot of people to finally see this.
The Holy Grail.
The Holy Grail. Forget the Swiss Army knives, the Holy Grail.
What's great about the premiere is we're treating it like a Hollywood premiere. Because I put on the invitation formal attire.
Yeah. That's good. I was excited about that because I really like wearing a suit.
Yeah. Because
I look really, really good in a suit. Don't tell them, but my mom tells me that all the time.
She's probably listening to this now.
Yep.
The formal attire, I got a backdrop, a cool backdrop for Enchanted Mafia, so we can do photos in front of. Just treating it as the only thing we can't do is roll a red carpet in the front of the building.
I wish.
That'll come in time, but treating it like that, having people show up. I don't want to say now, but there is somebody who's going to get a award.
Really?
Yeah. You know who it is.
I do.
Yeah. For all her hard work on everything. But I'm not. That's all I'm going to say for that. But yeah.
Sounds like a good guy. Hey, sounds like a good guy. I'm excited for them. Good for them. They probably deserve the award. Yeah. I just hope they do a speech. They better do a speech.
Oh, they will do a speech. Definitely,
it's very sacrilegious to not give a speech when you receive an award, especially an award that you're maybe not aware of you're receiving that evening.
Exactly.
So I hope people listening, understand the magnitude of, if you get an award, you better thank those who put you in that position to begin with. Otherwise, there's going to be there's going to be, a vendetta to those who gave that award. There's going to be animosity, maybe some resentment. I don't know. I don't make the rules. I just play the game.
No, yeah.
But yeah, August 10th is a really, really fun day, and it's a special day because it's the official. I mean, we've already launched Almost Elite Films, but it's going to be another big presentation of saying
we're here.
Almost Elite Films is we're here to stay, and we're here to make a name for ourselves and expand on what we're doing.
Yeah,
it's not easy, but it's fun.
And I'm hoping. I mean, we can discuss further when we do other podcasts. But when I did Enchanted Mafia, I wanted it to be like a community where everybody will get something out of it.
Yeah.
Right? Not the same things. Like if somebody wants footage for demo reel, they have footage for demo reel, right? If somebody wanted to, I just want to be in the web series, they have that. Right? So I really want to create a community, even going forward with the other projects, create that community of actors where we all kind of support each other, because in the acting business, I find even though we support each other, at the same time, there's some actors are just like, well, why did that person get the role and how come I didn't? And to me, that's like, don't treat the business that way. Because if you keep saying that, then you're never going to get a role. To me, it's like when I see somebody get a role, I'm like, oh, they got a role. That means I know it's going to come from me.
Right. Yeah, I think that goes without saying. Sometimes, and I think a lot of people suffer from, I don't want to say suffer, but a lot of people fall in that same kind of, area, and as do I, of, sometimes they feel the need, they got to compare themselves to others.
Yeah.
They put this unnecessary pressure on their shoulders of, putting themselves in somebody else's shoes, because that person, maybe has only been working for a certain period of time, trying to go for professional auditions, and they finally get their moment. And this person might have been doing years and years of work. And I think, as long as you keep the faith, you keep working at it, those moments come. You just have to keep at it. Some way, you never know. It just kind of falls in your lap. I think that's an important thing. I mean, heck, I only recently started in the last year and a half getting into shape. I was going to exercise and stuff like that, and I felt the need sometimes to compare myself to other people I saw when working out, and then watching videos and learning from people that I saw there or met, friends along the way. You kind of have to just forget about comparing yourself, your physical self, especially your image, to other people in that the fitness world, especially. But I mean, that goes with anything,
everything,
that goes with a lot. I find as performers too. I mean, I was doing a lot of musical theater growing up, and there's some amazing talented people who can sing and have never gone to a vocal coach in their life or gone to a dancing lesson in their life. They can just pick up the moves. Now, maybe not every single move, but enough that they're engaged, they can learn, they're quick learners. And there's other people that they have to go and I've been there before. I've seen it, so I get it. But it's gonna work out. And I think that's what we're also focusing here too at AEF, is not necessarily always putting ourselves in somebody else's shoes, a comparison. If it works, we know it's going to come. We just have to work at it.
And you just have to be persistent.
Yeah, and that's something we're going to, always give people the light of day when we do this podcast, for motivation, for any type of sanctuary.
Here's a good example. So, Enchanted Mafia Dark City is not my first web series that I've written, filmed, acted, all that stuff.
Okay.
The first one was Hitman Hobbies, The Magic of Friendship, which I wrote. It was 6 episodes, wrote it, filmed it. The only thing is we couldn't release it due to union stuff.
Oh.
But I could have just went, okay, I'm done. Right? But I went, no, let's continue on.
How many episodes did you do for that?
So it was 6 episodes.
6? Wow.
Yeah. They weren't as long as Mafia, because each script was about 13 pages.
Okay.
Mafia is about 18 to 20 pages.
Yeah, roughly. I would probably say.
But it's 4 episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if you look at it, it's almost the same. 6 episodes, 13 minutes. I'm doing the math quickly. It might not add up. But yeah, it's like I could have just stopped after Hitman Hobbies goes, this is a fail. Like, I failed at this. But then I went, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to write stuff. and then work my way back up to a web series.
Yeah.
Which we're here now.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
No, I mean, yeah, man. Sometimes people, and you put a lot of work into things, and those are the things that really hurt sometimes.
Yeah.
When you feel that you've put so much work into something, and then I don't want to say it doesn't pay off, but you don't see it to where you expected it to be.
Exactly.
You have such high expectations, and it depends on what you want. But yeah, that's a good thing, because again, we wouldn't probably be here if you didn't focus on continuing to write, and that's why it goes. It's so important for people that you're gonna have your good days and your bad days, but to kind of stick with it. Maybe sometimes if you need to take a break to just unwind and like take some pressure off, sure,
yeah,
because you never know. People find inspiration somewhere. I know for me, sometimes I find my inspiration through music. I'll hear certain songs and I kind of visualize certain things for certain people, or if I want to jot down certain stories. Now I wish I was capable of writing a script like in the in the snap of my fingers, and that's kind of sometimes on me and my procrastination or doubting my true creativity in that sense of writing. But if people don't necessarily kind of come back to it, or find a way to pace themselves in such a way that maybe makes themselves creative, people wouldn't succeed as much as they do.
No. And even though the first web series, I wouldn't say it's a complete failure, because to me, the only reason I'm saying it's a failure because it didn't get released, it didn't get edited, all that stuff. But it wasn't a complete failure because it was good stuff. But you learn so much from those experiences
exactly
that you can apply to the experiences that you're dealing with now and future.
Oh yeah,
right. So it's always a win.
Well, I'm sure you've built relationships through those encounters too, right? With certain actors and people who worked on the production with you.
Yeah.
So that there's never really you kind of have to take the good with the bad and say there were things that I wished could have happened, but there are a lot of good things that came out from trying this. It's your first time. Was it one of your first times directing a web series yourself, or just being kind of behind the camera and doing your own production?
I wasn't the full-on director.
Okay.
But I was first time behind a production.
Okay.
Right? Which was it was a lot.
Yeah.
Right? But now I'm
the Holy Grail.
Now I'm the Holy Grail.
Yeah, I know. Well, in fact, just even relating to you, I mean, even when you allowed me to work on some of the shoots for Enchanted Mafia, some scenes, I mean, I had worked, doing some stuff in school for post-secondary and going to college and working behind the camera, but mainly my stuff was always in front of the camera, if anything, or on stage doing musicals. If I was so fortunate enough to, for how many times I've done musicals or any type of film. So, to do that behind the camera too. Yeah. It's nerve-wracking, right? Because especially when you're working on, and for my sense, it was on somebody else's, they wrote it, it's their vision. You're really trying to do it in such a way that, you want to honor what they're doing creatively. And they're letting you kind of, take the reins a little bit and tell the story for them. And then they put enough trust. So, yeah, I understand. I can totally get it.
And I was confident enough when you came on to be like, okay, let him, because even though you haven't done anything behind the camera, but you were so focused, I'm like, okay, let him see what it's like. That way you get the experience.
Yeah.
Right? Or else how are you going to get the experience unless you go to school for it? And, not everybody has the schedule to go to school, or the time, the money.
Yeah. So
this is a perfect chance to do it.
Well, I think compared to what let's say a few decades ago, compared to what it is now, for how much more flexible it is for people not necessarily who may be able to go to the schooling,
right?
Film school or that kind of stuff, to at least just everyone's got now a camera on their phone.
Yeah.
That
you can just
we're
anywhere.
Leagues, we're miles, we're leagues ahead of where people were decades ago. You'd have to go and find a film camera and kind of do your own stuff that way. Whereas now, people can shoot videos for hours on end, both selfie mode or front camera mode, and edit right on the phone itself as opposed to even plugging into a computer.
That's true.
That's where the tech is now. So, for my sense, I think people. I mean, I'm still not the greatest tech savvy person I should be. At least for where I am in my age, I should be. That's on me. But I said I'm saying it here on the first ever AEF podcast. You heard it here. I'm going to be making sure I make those my resolutions.
It is July 2019.
Oh, jeez.
Let's mark that date.
I am going to be making sure I am a better person in terms of the tech aspect when it comes to these kind of things, because I think then at least right now we're editing our own productions. You know, we're doing, well, heck, you're editing all the productions. You're doing everything we already stated earlier today.
Holy Grail.
Holy Grail, exactly, the Holy Grail. But it's good that, you know, if we can get, you know, other people doing it, that it takes pressure off. Because if you're not doing, let's say, the editing, but at least now maybe you're getting just strictly music or some other
I would have more
stuff.
time to focus on the other.
Yeah, as opposed to having to do, what's the only analogy I always say, like out of the carnivals, those spinning plates on the sticks, and you have to control
them all.
Just picture, we'll have a big sign of all. That's what Frankie D was doing. A spinning plate, each little stick had a little name tag at the bottom. One said cinematography, one said cameraman, one said producer, one said director, one said writer, one said editor. Just he had to spin all these plates running around. Casting director. Oh man, executive producer, you name it, scheduling everything and dealing with all the ups and downs of having to run a production, with scheduling, especially the scheduling. Was fun this time around.
Oh,
especially for the reshoots, it was fun.
Yeah,
especially for the reshoots. Woo! So fun. Could have been worse though. It could have been. It
could have been worse. It worked out. Everything worked out perfectly fine.
Yeah,
but yeah, and it's hilarious because you brought up. All the technology is on the phone, which the web series was completely filmed all on not even the newest of technology phones, but like an older Samsung Galaxy S6.
Hey, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I thought for what it was, it looks really nice.
It looks good. Yeah.
Half the editing is done in already the original principal shots, and then the rest of, like, you know, color grading when it comes to doing those type of editing cycles. Yeah, It really looks good. I'm excited for the finished products, especially for what we were able to do, and, you know, patch things up with some reshoots. It really looks nice. It's clean, and, you know, if we can, there's nothing else we can say except that we're excited.
Yeah,
the sky's the limit for that.
Yeah. Well, there's already. I know it's not technology people use anymore, but there's a DVD that I'm working on.
DVDs aren't like, they're not out of the works
no,
yet.
No.
People, you know, I think with the way even things are happening on the streaming service too, because now Disney's going to be coming out with their own thing.
Yeah.
Hulu, Netflix.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure NBC, I heard, is coming out with
their own
thing,
because
there was a big thing now. They're taking The Office out of Netflix, which was huge.
That's why.
And Friends is coming off, because remember earlier this year, it was announced Friends was like, Netflix paid like $100-something million. I don't know how much. I might be fudging the numbers up, but they paid a lot of money to keep Friends on their streaming service. And then I'm like, next thing I know, I hear that they're going to be taking it off by the end of 2020 or something like that.
So yeah, it's possible.
And I'm like, how long do these contracts last? They paid all this money and it's already done by the end of next year. Like, they only have 18 months left. Like, that's where I was blown away. But everyone's coming out with their streaming service that I think some people are going to have to kind of come back and say, okay, I can't keep paying for all these streaming services. Let me go back to my archives and go to my basement and find my DVD collection.
Yeah.
So DVDs aren't like, they're not some type of, you know, what's it called? They're not...
They're not like vinyl records.
They're not gone to the ways of the caveman.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way.
That's true.
Like the PS4s, they all still play DVDs.
Yeah,
you know, it probably helps when you're a Blu-ray, because I think there's more Blu-ray players now. But DVDs are still pretty big. Like, they're, you know, people get them, and if not, you know, you kind of just stream it, or you buy it, purchase it however you want. But yeah, hard copies are always nice.
Yeah, and then there's also going to be a book.
Yeah, that's gonna be really fun.
The book will have like some of the stories from behind the scenes, some of the experiences I went through. You're gonna write the foreword.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, Rob Starr's gonna write the foreword, and I'm gonna put the scripts in the book.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's like you get almost everything.
Should we do director's notes? You think? Any director's notes?
There
may be a few nasty comments on my script, so don't take my script. And I just wrote like nasty things about other characters, because I got so involved in my characters. That I really wrote some really questionable things that I will not say on here.
Right. Well, that's your character process, right?
Yeah, for sure. The character process. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, it's just more so like taking the scripts, like regular scripts, and just putting them into a book format.
Cool.
So people can like the old school William Shakespeare books, like that kind of format. But everybody would understand it easily.
Well, no, screenplays. People like to read screenplays.
Yeah.
And I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
It's an extra little layer to add to, you can read and watch. I mean, I like I was mentioning to you, I follow a handful of Instagram accounts that talk about cinema, and they go into depth. And there's one big one that has a big Facebook following and a big Instagram. Like I follow both. It's called Script to Screen. I'm pretty sure you've seen it.
Where
it's
they
always
cut
fun. You're watching the scene. Half the frame is the scene. The other half is you're watching the script. And you tend to notice that what you're reading is not necessarily the word for word dialogue, because it'll show actors will play with their lines. And I mean, I think that helps too, because just going back to the acting aspect of acting school. A lot of people, when they're first getting into acting school, they're thinking, oh man, I got to know my line word for word, which is important. You definitely want to know your lines. You don't know your lines, important. You're not going to be able to know what the heck's going on with your character and really be able to kind of create, and expand on your character as much. But I think sometimes when you're on a production and you know your lines to a certain point, but you have that trust that you can play with them and maybe, I don't want to say go fully off book or ad lib, but enough that you can add a certain personal touch to those characters because you're so ingrained in it that helps. And it's it's nice. It's kind of like a little twist. Oh, wow. So that line was ad libbed. She or he never said that to begin with. Those are kind of little fun discoveries I find when you read screenplays or you kind of read those notes. So if those are in there, sure. I don't really know if I ad-libbed anything. I don't think so.
When I was going through it, there was some different variations of lines that the actor said.
Well, Santa Claus was just awful, so the guy who played Santa Claus just... No, but it was fun. Like, every once in a while, I think he'd probably just, ad-lib maybe a word or two here, because sometimes they're just the heat of the moments. You get so lost in what you're doing as a performer, and sometimes you just don't think as natural as you want to be for your character. You kind of just throw whatever
seems good. I remember when we were filming one of the scenes with me and Mother Nature, I'm supposed to say I don't care. And a couple of times in the shot that we were filming, I kept saying, "Good for you."
Good for you, you filthy animal.
Yeah, pretty much. Because she was explaining to me, like, "Oh, I like how you think." The original line is, "I don't care."
Yeah, I think that's that made the fun.
Because there was two when I was editing it. There was both of those lines in there.
Wait a minute, we didn't disclose. Actually, now that I think about it, did we disclose who we're playing in the web series?
No, we didn't disclose that.
I think we're not to say we're jumping the gun here. I think we're just hoping that the people who are listening to us right now are just have already seen some of it. But I, Rob Star himself, play Cupid in the web series of Enchanted Mafia, and my good friend here, Frankie D, plays Anthony Cornelio, the Easter Bunny.
Yeah,
and he's a pretty badass at it.
Although you didn't say your name.
Okay, fine. Cupid's real name, Rob Star, the character I play. I shouldn't say the character I play. I am Rob Star. But Cupid's real name is Vinny Amor.
Yeah.
That's his character's name, and he becomes Cupid. But Enchanted Mafia is already Cupid, which is cool, and they're running, they're trying to chase out the bad guys, and cleaning up the streets. They're not crime fighters. They're kind of they're also ruthless. They kind of do everything a regular mafia would do.
Yeah.
Santa Claus does some questionable things, I will say.
Yeah. Which I'll touch upon the whole idea of how mafia came to be when we do another podcast.
Yeah, definitely.
Right?
Well, I'm excited for that one. That'll be a nice little sweet little icing on the cake for discussing that kind of special feature that kind of came, where some of the way certain kind of ideas kind of came to be for certain characters. And where the web series kind of got its starting break from it. But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. That's the main point of this whole podcast, is just how we're going to be going from, a couple of friends who kind of just decided saying, hey, would you kind of want to see if, you already have something that's kind of your own brand. Do you want to rebrand and expand on it in a way that, it's got its own, it is its own brand, it's its own entity, it becomes its company, and we can nurture it and grow and bring in people we want to work with and that want to work with us and kind of keep the same vision, because like we were touching upon, keeping a good mindset. The best way to keep a good mindset is surrounding yourself with people who want what you want, who have the same ambitions
to grow, like people who want to grow, who are creative, who are passionate.
It goes a long way. It goes a long way, and that's what our mission statement is. It's we spare no expense, but we also we're not closed-minded either. We're very open. When people come, we're so much engraved in what we do to creatively that we'll listen to the actors who play some of the characters and say, hey, your character, do you think you could see yourself, not necessarily doing more with this character, but we want to create a backstory for your character. We were thinking this. What do you think? What's your imprint on this?
Yeah.
How do you feel? What would your character do? And, we've been open to that, discussing with some of the actors who we want to, expand stories on, going forward with the second season and other future productions of the web series itself. But, that goes with a lot of other productions. Mystery Solved, the whole genre there of that, detective comedy noir. It's going to be the same thing. We're going to treat a lot of our productions and things that we do, television, and film-wise, we'll be doing all of that.
And the wrestling one would definitely be character-based.
Wrestling one's going to be another big multiverse of things that have to come, of just a bunch of characters and guys and girls. That's what's nice, because we probably have a lot of guys coming in to do the wrestling one, but we also we're interested in having more females to come work, and that's why, especially in the professional wrestling world, female wrestling is so much on the rise, talent wise, and performance wise, that we would love to be working with females, even on the wrestling series we're planning on doing too, because that'd be really fun, just to kind of have that twist on some characters. I know Bobby Bricks would probably be just as thrilled, but I don't know if you pay attention to the girls. Bobby Bricks would probably just be more concerned about fixing his eyebrows.
Bobby Bricks would be more concerned about himself.
Yeah, he probably would. He'd be fixing himself to prepare for girls, but he'd be so concerned about fixing himself he wouldn't realize all the girls are like right behind him, and he's not doing it. So who knows? Then again, I don't know how the character would rub off on most girls. I don't think it would work.
You might be a bad guy.
I might be an idiot bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, I think Bobby Bricks is just he's a stooge who dresses really nice, looks good, and just says, hey, I'll beat you up, because that's what he does. That's what he does in the business. He'll take some bumps. He'll steal awards too. I gotta see that footage. Actually, we had a good friend of ours. We had a friend of ours too when we kind of started expanding on this, because we had already had an idea for a while before we did that.
Yeah.
That other side one there. Yeah. What was the name of the company? I feel terrible for not remembering the one we did the kind of.
I don't remember
the rough draft of it.
Yeah.
It's fun. And those are the visual stuff. And again, going back to the podcast itself, we're hopefully going to be doing at least once a week, a weekly episodic show, if we can, and then maybe expand it where we have special weeks dedicated to specific genres and topics, and bringing on guests, and we'll be talking music, we'll be talking TV, film, health and wellness.
Yeah, what's happening in the world.
Yeah, maybe we won't go too far in politics, because
no,
we don't know. We don't know how people.
We might lose some people.
We might lose some people. We might gain some people. Yeah. I don't know. There might be some collateral damage.
No, we'll do the rule of if we can't talk about it at the water cooler.
Can't talk about the water cooler, unless you know who's on what team. Then.
Yeah.
But we talking sports too. Sports is another big one too. We're talking the craziness of the NBA, at least from my side. I don't know if Frankie D wants to talk too much sports.
Unless it's the World Cup.
Unless it's the World Cup. Are we talking soccer?
Yeah. Oh, football.
La football? La football. Huh? Yeah, okay. Soccer World Cup, La Football's World Cup would be fun. I mean, shout out to, I guess, I don't even know why I'm shouting out the U.S. women's national team, because we are Canadian.
Yeah.
So congratulations to them. I think if the U.S. didn't win, I don't know if it would get as much attention as it should, which it should. The tournament was pretty cool.
Yeah.
To see how far women's soccer has gone a long way. So that was nice. I mean, as much as I felt like there were a little bit of too much cocky prudes, I guess, in certain cases, maybe they just felt like the heat was on them, so they just They just kind of all right, fine, we'll be the heels. I don't care. But they won, and good for them, and it's nice to kind of see that women's soccer is becoming so strong. It's kind of the same thing with women's hockey too. Women's hockey is definitely it's too bad with some of the stuff that's happened with the Canadian women's hockey leagues being, kind of having their, I guess, for funding and purposes. But at least, listen, it's one of the bigger things I like to watch during the Winter Olympics is women's hockey.
Yeah.
That's always a fun part of the tournament. And women's soccer is now another great sport. Hopefully it continues with that. But yeah, sports goes a long way. I'll be talking NFL, we'll be talking MLB, NHL especially.
XFL.
XFL, if XFL can be pulled off, I don't know. Vinnie Mac has more of a bigger fish to fry with the state of the WWE, depending on how things go in the fall there with going to Fox and FS1. Right? It's FS1, yeah, I believe.
Yeah.
Cool. So maybe we'll have all the guys there on FS1 start breaking down wrestling, professional wrestling. But yeah, that'll be fun. It'll be fun. So we'll see. We'll bring on guests. We'll have a lot of people for different takes on it.
Yeah, this podcast will grow with the time, so...
Yeah. I'm excited for it. Where are we? Wow. We're at 55 minutes. That's
55 minutes of people listening to us.
I guarantee you half the people are just like, all right, Rob, I listened to like the first 5 minutes. Couldn't do it.
Yeah. If you made it this far, thank you.
Yeah, this was great. This was a great first episode. I'm glad at least we got to introduce ourselves a little bit. Although we kind of introduced ourselves like
in the middle.
Well, I mean, we did like our kind of our main intros, but I guess the ending of like we're talking about Enchanted Mafia and we haven't even really disclosed who we played here. We're talking as if, but I guess that just intrigues. Hey guys, go watch the first episode there. Go see it because it's not that long. It's about running minute time is 9 minutes.
9 minutes for the first short film. Yeah,
I mean it's 9 minutes. It's a pretty complex story. I think it speaks for itself. Just to go see where we started from and where we're going to be going to, because especially we're excited for August 10th. It's going to be the first 4 episodes of the web series being launched there with the big premiere, and yeah, I mean that's what I'm excited for. I know you're excited for it. Hell, nervous, you said too, but I don't think you should. I think you should be proud for what you've done.
It's a good nervous. It's not a bad nervous.
Yeah, I'm so nervous I can cry. I'm in a tantrum because I just want it to already be August 10th.
Right.
I just want it to be here.
It's getting closer.
Yeah. Before you know it, it'll be here.
Yeah.
But I guess we'll say we're signing off for now.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So this was Almost Elite Films' first ever podcast. Thank you guys for listening. There'll be more to come down the road. So thank you for listening to AEF. I am Rob Star.
I am Frankie D.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.